I am standing with a face that will be familiar to anybody who watched the vigil that took place here last night. This is Pastor Sean Brandow. He is a local pastor here in the town of Humboldt, but he is also the chaplain for the Humboldt Broncos. And in fact, Sean, you used to sit right behind that bench every game that they were at home. You also traveled with the team from time to time, taking in their games. And last Friday night, you were minutes behind the crash. You described it as your 15 hours of darkness. Tell me about what happened when you pulled up on that scene on the highway.
We actually had text before we pulled up on the scene that the bus had crashed, and we didn't know if it was the fan bus or the player's bus. And so it was just confusion from the get-go, and being passed by every emergency vehicle, it seemed like, in the province. And we knew it was going to be bad as soon as it was like that. And we pulled up a number of yards away, thankfully, and left the family in the vehicle, and I ran up to the scene, and it was just carnage, really. Just so many people and people working and just doing their best to do what they can do.
Were you able to speak to any of the surviving players? Were you able to talk to anybody there on scene?
Touch them, and that's it. Yeah. So from there, we knew we couldn't do much on the scene, and I just asked if there was any way we could get through the barricade there to at least meet them in the hospital. And so that's where we went as soon as we could. On the way there, I ran into the assistant coach who just didn't know what to do either, and so we jumped in together and off to Mediwake.
From that horrific crash scene, you then went to the hospitals. You've also spent time at the morgue with the families. And throughout the week, you've been visiting with both surviving families and families of the victims. What are they saying? What are they asking?
Well, a lot of those questions are very personal and private. I don't know, in their hearts what they're really asking. They're just, from minute one, there was just so much confusion and unanswered things, and everything was so up in the air and just confusing, and I don't know. There's just really no word to describe what it would have felt like for those parents to not have answers for hours and hours and hours. Is my child alive or dead, or who is a certain person? Yeah, just horrible.
You described last night that Humboldt will heal, but it will heal with a scar.
Yeah, and scars really make us unique in one sense. And they're never pleasant when they happen. They symbolize a deep wound, something that hurts badly. But when a wound heals and it takes the rawness away, it leaves a mark that's lasting and unique to that person and that individual, and for the community, that scar will be there. That Humboldt will be identified by this. And so to just live with that memory without any healing, I think, is dangerous and foolish, because then that wound just stays open. But if that's a scar, it removes the hurt, right, and just allows us to be, allows it to be a scar.
Pastor Sean, you've provided so much support and help for everybody in this community. How are you doing today?
We're hurt and we're tired. It's been a long haul, and I don't know. I felt very useless, and I guess that's the way I felt for so long, and I guess helpless. I'm very thankful for an amazing church to go to, and just as a pastor to go and need your church for a Sunday instead of your church needing you was new for me, and so I was 100 times better after I could sit with my church and be with my church, and to hear them speak the word to me, and me speak the word to them, and to pray together, and I needed that. So.
Well, as you continue to support people here, there are people across the country who are thinking of you and praying for you in this entire community. Thank you for being with us today.